Becky Lynch files for divorce after Seth Rollins teams up with Paul Heyman. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we've got some truly surprising and heartwarming news from the WWE Universe. Title: Becky Lynch files for divorce after Seth Rollins teams up with Paul Heyman, WWE's most personal breakup. In the world of WWE, betrayals are common. Alliances shift, loyalties break, and friendships die in the blink of an eye. But sometimes, it's not just about championship gold or backstage politics. Sometimes, it's personal. Seth Rollins stunned the WWE Universe when he joined forces with Paul Heyman, the manipulative mastermind behind the Bloodline. But what no one saw coming was the cost of that decision. Because just days after that shocking alliance, Becky Lynch, Rollins' real-life wife, dropped a bombshell. She filed for divorce. This isn't just a wrestling story. It's a real-life heartbreak written in the language of steel chairs and shattered trust. Today, we dive into the emotional, dramatic, and explosive fallout of WWE's most shocking split. Becky Lynch versus Seth Rollins, not in the ring, but in the courtroom. Let's break it down. The build-up: Seth Rollins' strange behavior. It began subtly. After WrestleMania 41, where Rollins lost the World Heavyweight Championship in a chaotic multi-man match, fans noticed a change. He was quieter, darker, colder. Gone were the flamboyant suits and cackling laughter. Backstage segments showed him brooding, pacing, and brushing off fellow superstars. Then came the first sign. Seth was spotted talking privately with Paul Heyman on Raw, not once, but 3 times in 2 weeks. The WWE Universe speculated wildly. Was Rollins joining the Bloodline? Was he making a deal with the devil? Becky Lynch remained silent, until she didn't. WrestleMania fallout, trouble at home. In a WWE.com exclusive interview just days after WrestleMania, Becky Lynch was asked about Seth's recent behavior. "I don't know what's going on with him," she said. "He's distant. Something's off. And if he thinks Paul Heyman is someone he can trust, then maybe he doesn't know who the hell he's become." That interview went viral. Fans could sense it. The cracks weren't just forming in Rollins' alliances, but in his marriage. Behind the scenes, sources said Becky and Seth were barely speaking outside of their segments. Friends noticed tension. One source told Fightful Select they were at opposite ends of the locker room. They arrived separately, left separately. It was like watching strangers. The shocking alliance. Rollins joins Heyman. On the April 22nd episode of Monday Night Raw, it finally happened. Rollins came to the ring and shockingly shook hands with Paul Heyman, aligning himself with the man who orchestrated the Bloodline's dominance. Heyman introduced Rollins as his newest and most valuable client. Rollins stood silently, nodding, eyes void of emotion. The crowd was stunned. The commentary team went silent. Corey Graves muttered, "I can't believe what I'm seeing." Becky Lynch tweeted one word: unbelievable. It was the last public thing she would post for 5 days. Backstage fallout. Becky walks out. Multiple WWE insiders reported that after Raw went off the air, Becky Lynch left the arena early, refusing to speak with producers or other talent. She canceled a scheduled WWE Network interview and was replaced last minute on a media panel. Then came the report that shook the internet. TMZ Sports broke the story. Becky Lynch files for divorce from Seth Rollins following Heyman alliance. The WWE Universe erupted. Was this real? Was this part of a storyline? But Becky's legal team confirmed it. A real divorce filing had been processed in Florida, where the couple had residency. A copy of the petition cited irreconcilable differences and a breach of personal trust. Becky breaks her silence. On SmackDown, Becky Lynch made her first on-screen appearance since the news broke. She walked to the ring wearing all black, no makeup, and visibly shaken. The crowd gave her a standing ovation, but Becky didn't smile. She took the mic and, for nearly 10 minutes, poured her heart out. "I gave that man everything. We built a family together. We fought side by side. And then he chose Paul Heyman over his wife, over the mother of his child. This isn't just betrayal. This is personal. And I don't want his apologies. I want him to hurt." It was one of the rawest promos of Becky's career. Real tears. Real rage. Seth responds. Or does he? The following Monday on Raw, fans expected Seth to explain himself. Instead, he said nothing. He walked out with Paul Heyman at his side. Heyman spoke on his behalf. Seth Rollins has evolved beyond petty emotion, beyond love, beyond pain. He has one focus now, domination. Rollins simply smirked at the camera, eyes hollow. Not a word about Becky. Not a word about their daughter. Nothing. This only fueled the fire. Social media explodes. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all lit up with fan theories, reactions, and heartbreak. Hashtag Team Becky trended worldwide. WWE superstars from both brands reacted. Bayley, Becky doesn't deserve this. Bianca Belair, my heart breaks for Becky. That was cold, Seth. Kevin Owens, there's heel turns, and then there's this. Damn. Even non-WWE celebrities weighed in. Actress Florence Pugh tweeted, Paul Heyman ruins everything. Becky Lynch files for restraining order. In an even more shocking development, Becky Lynch's legal team filed a temporary restraining order against Seth Rollins. Why? Because Becky alleged that Seth showed up at their home unannounced with Paul Heyman, attempting to justify his actions in front of their daughter. This led to massive security updates for WWE events, with officials keeping Becky and Seth apart at all times. One source from backstage said, "It's not just kayfabe anymore. This is real. It's sad. No one expected it to get this far." Triple H's intervention. With tensions boiling over, Triple H finally stepped in. On Raw, he announced, "Until further notice, Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins will not appear on the same brand." Effective immediately, Seth Rollins is assigned to Raw. Becky Lynch will move to SmackDown. It was a forced separation, both for storyline purposes and for real-life safety. But Becky wasn't done. Becky attacks Paul Heyman. 1 week later, Paul Heyman appeared on SmackDown to apologize for the damage caused. But Becky had enough. She stormed the ring and brutally attacked Heyman with a steel chair. Over and over, with no mercy. Security had to drag her away, screaming, "Tell Seth I'm not done. Tell him I'm coming for everything." WWE finds Becky Lynch files for divorce after Seth Rollins teams up with Paul Heyman $100,000 for the couple shattered. But fans didn't care. Welcome back. Today we've got some truly surprising and heartwarming news. Petitions were started to reverse the fine. In the world of professional wrestling, in a rare couples have captivated fans quite. She has every right to be angry. Seth Rollins. I crossed the line. They were WWE's power couple. Maybe this is what we deserve. Fierce competitors. Becky launched what fans call her revenge to a beautiful daughter. She began cutting intense promos in a bombshell revelation that has rocked both the WWE Universe and social media. He stormed out of matches. Has officially filed for divorce from Seth Rollins. He lost in the main event of Raw after being distracted Seth Rollins by has Becky's aligned himself with the one man even though Becky she despises more than anyone. Share Paul Heyman and comment below. What happened behind the scenes? Do you think Becky went too far? What drove Becky to this breaking point? Or did Seth deserve every second of it? This is the full story. Thanks for watching. WWE's Stay tuned for the next twist. Let's go back to where it all started. WWE Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch went public with their relationship in 2019. The Man and the Architect, two of WWE's biggest stars, stood side by side, both in